I don't know if I'm the only one or we are many. Anytime I see charcoal, anytime I light charcoal jiko, I just think of roasting something, and it's either maize or meat. And now that today I don't have meat, I'll have to roast this maize. This one's not the plan, but when I saw this charcoal, I thought of roasting maize so that at least by the time I tell you what we are doing, I have something to grab. In case have never mentioned this, what we call snacking in my village or in my African village. Okay, we have so many things we can snack with, and I know many people think that's food. For us, we can snack with roasted maize, we can snack with the potatoes, that is roasted potato, we can snack with the arrowroots or just anything. For us, snacking is something light you put in your mouth as you think of what next, right? So, in case you're new here, karibu sana, feel most welcome. Karibu is a Swahili word which means welcome. Okay, when I say Swahili, I mean the national language in my country, Kenya. And I just want to appreciate each and every one of you, thanking you for subscribing to my channel and also supporting my channel. Thanks so much, right? So it's actually around 5 p.m. That is in the evening, and we've experienced power blackout since lunch hour, and that's why I thought of lighting up the charcoal so that we cook from outside as I show you what I'm preparing for dinner and how we prepare it in my village. Okay, have lived with my grandma for the longest time since I was born, and so many most of my recipes by they have learned from her, and that's a woman I adore so much. That's a woman I respect so much, and she's actually 100 years plus, and she values diet so much. Like, she values, and she's very careful with anything she puts in her mouth or in her stomach. So most of the things for me up to date, I cook them the way she taught me, not the way maybe just the modern ways. I love it when it's traditional, not raw, when it's traditional. And in today's video, I want to show you how we prepare ndoma in my culture, that is East African culture, and that's what we are up to today. Okay, so the first thing to do is to chop some onions, and I know sometimes back I was so fascinated with spring onions, but right now we are doing red onions because it all depends on what we are preparing. As in, it just depends on the food that you're preparing or how you want it to be. But if you want to eat sweet ndomas or sweet arrowroots, try red onions. You can garnish with spring onions. I have no problem with that, but make sure first you fry red onions. Okay, if you have a secret of how I can peel onions, chop them without tearing up, just comment down below, because this thing makes me cry anytime I chop. And I've seen people, but they're doing it without crying, without shedding any tear, yet it's something I've done over and over for years, right? You can imagine here I was talking to you, but I just realized that my neighbor's music or whatever the neighbor is using was too loud, and to avoid copyrights, of course, I had to do away with the volume so that I do voice over. And after chopping my red onions, I'll just add some cooking oil. Then I'll fry them till they turn golden brown. On the other side, my maize is still roasting, and for me, I don't wait for it till it roasts all of it. Any part that is roasted, I have to just grab it slowly, pole pole, as I wait for my red onions. And one thing I've learned about these onions, ni kama huwa zinatupima wazimu tu. Like, anytime you're watching your onions cook, they take centuries, they take years and years. But if you anytime you leave that onions, ukirudi unapataga zimeungwa. Like, when you're there and you're cooking your onions, they will take all the time. But if you leave that place, or if you just leave them for 1 minute, on coming back you'll just find everything burnt. I don't know if it's only me or we are many, but I think sijui tuko aje, yani sijui onions zinakuwaga aje. That makes me cook from outside is the fact that I am able to use charcoal, which cooks sweet food for me. Like comparing cooking with charcoal with anything else, charcoal naonaga imeivisha kila kitu vizuri. And also something else, sijui kama umesikia some birds that are just making some noise from background. It's because ni jioni, it's in the evening, it's rainy season, and that sound just makes me feel wow. It makes me feel whoa. Oh my goodness. So after my spring onions have cooked, I will wash my peas or minchi, add them inside. And for me, I don't boil my minchis nowadays. I've told you, yani this 2024, have told you we are doing it very different. Before I used to boil my minchis, nachukua time mob nikiboil. But nowadays, I've just learned a new secret. Just fry your onions, eka minchi zako, steam tu kidogo, yani change the color from, yes, they will be green, but sile green ya kituro, okay? After they turned green, that's the time you can add all your other ingredients. For me, I have arrowroot, I have potatoes, yani the things are just so many, and they cook perfectly. Believe you me, there's no need for boiling the minches. Utaona venye zitaiva vizuri, so just add everything. Stir it very well so that at least they mix together. Look at this. Then you reduce your moto and cover your food. Something else I will also add is potatoes. Remember, as I keep saying, when it comes to adding your ingredients to your food, just measure, like just have an idea of how long they take to cook, like which cooks faster than the other one, so that the ones that take longer time, you put them first. Then the ones that take shorter time, like the potatoes compared to arrowroot, you add them as almost the last ingredients. Okay, that's a hack. Usitumbukizane kila kitu yote pamoja mchemcho. No, just make sure that umefuatanisha venye unajua hii kitu inaivaga, ndio usipate burn ama chakula yako isi burn. with my case, have let my my ndomas cook together with the potatoes because they take almost the same time. Then the next thing I will add almost the last stages is carrots and tomatoes, right? Remember, carrots are not supposed to be cooked so much or for a long time. Then for the tomatoes, remember, you just steam them, meaning if I add them as the last ingredients, I'm also good to go. And that's what I do to my food. Like, avoid adding much water to your food in the early stages, so that you just steam it first, and when need be, that's when you can add some water. And it's not just water. For me, I add boiled water, right? For the ingredients, I'm only using curry powder and salt. It's already dark, as you can see, and my food is almost ready. Remember, for the tomatoes, they take very short time, and I'm just going to not even mash, just try to mash them a little bit gently so that I don't break anything, because as you've seen, I don't cut my potatoes. I just add them the way I've chopped them, so that at least I remove them the way I added them. Even for the peas, I make sure that when it comes to stirring, si kuchokoroania tu, yani stir your food with passion, so that even when it comes to kufika stage ya kuiva, unapata kila chakula imeiva ikiwa intact, and that's the sweetness of this food, right? Let me know where you're watching this video from.